Welcome to Moonlight.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a dense and mysterious forest, there lived a sweet little girl known to all as Little Red Riding Hood. She was adored by everyone in the village for her kindness, innocence, and her most cherished possession, a bright red hooded cape her grandmother had lovingly made for her. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her and said, "My dear, your grandmother is not feeling well. I want you to take this basket of goodies to her. But be careful, and don't talk to strangers. Stay on the path and go straight to her house." Little Red Riding Hood happily agreed, tying her red hooded cape securely around her shoulders. She set off with a basket filled with freshly baked treats, eager to bring comfort to her ailing grandmother. As she entered the enchanting forest, the sunlight filtered through the tall trees, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. Little Red Riding Hood hummed a cheerful tune, enjoying the beauty of nature around her. Meanwhile, a sly wolf spotted the little girl from a distance. The wolf, with a cunning grin, decided to approach her and see what mischief he could create. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf, disguising his intentions with a friendly tone. "Where are you headed with that lovely basket?" Little Red Riding Hood, unaware of the wolf's cunning nature, replied, "I'm going to visit my dear grandmother. She's not feeling well, and I'm bringing her some goodies to make her feel better." The wolf, with a devious plan in mind, said, "What a kind granddaughter you are. Why don't you take your time and enjoy the forest? The path is so dull, but the woods are full of wonders." Trusting the wolf's seemingly friendly advice, Little Red Riding Hood wandered off the path to explore the forest. The wolf, seizing the opportunity, hurried to the grandmother's cottage to beat her there. When the wolf arrived at Granny's house, he knocked on the door, imitating Little Red Riding Hood's voice. "Grandmother, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I've brought you some goodies," he called. The unsuspecting grandmother, who was feeling too weak to get out of bed, replied, "Come in, my dear." The crafty wolf entered the cottage and, without wasting a moment, gobbled up the poor old grandmother. Disguised in Granny's clothes, the wolf lay in wait for Little Red Riding Hood. After a while, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at her grandmother's cottage and was surprised to find the door ajar. She entered cautiously and noticed that her grandmother looked different. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have," she exclaimed. "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf, trying to imitate Granny's feeble voice. "Grandmother, what big ears you have," Little Red Riding Hood remarked. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," answered the wolf, hiding his sharp teeth behind a smile. "Grandmother, what big teeth you have," Little Red Riding Hood observed. "All the better to eat you with," exclaimed the wolf, revealing his true identity. With a swift motion, the wolf leaped from the bed, but before he could reach Little Red Riding Hood, a brave woodsman who happened to be passing by heard the commotion. He rushed into the cottage and, with a swing of his axe, rescued Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother. The wolf, defeated and frightened, scampered away into the forest, never to bother anyone again. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother embraced each other, grateful for the woodsman's timely intervention. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of straying from the path and the importance of being cautious around strangers. And so, the tale of Little Red Riding Hood and the cunning wolf became a cautionary story passed down through generations, reminding children to be wary, stay on the path, and trust their instincts.